Is in the West Loop. Brett, they're calling this an average Chicago winter, but for a lot of us, this one feels different.
It's always a bit subjective depending on who you speak to when it comes to what's an average Chicago winter. But there's one thing, or two things I should say, that are not mistaken as some of the snow flurries are coming down right now. Number one, we had significant snowfall right around Thanksgiving where we had about a foot of snow in some parts of the Chicagoland, but also how cold it's been the last few weeks, especially this time last week where it was below zero for much of the day with the wind chill. Forget about it. So certainly a lot of snow systems have been busy this entire winter season, and we caught up with snow systems out of Wheeling, who was out here removing snow. They were shoveling the sidewalks. They were removing it from the parking lot. And they were also scraping ice from the sidewalks outside of Jewel here on Roosevelt and Canal, or some people say the Jules pair of Schutz was just talking about. So this crew is just really, really busy. They're averaging around this time between 15 and 20 stops a day when you have a snow event like today. And of course, their day is not over yet. They're expecting to be busy all weekend long. And they could end up going to the same job site multiple times here. So the other variable that they're dealing with here is a nationwide salt shortage, which has impacted where they get their salt, how much they pay, and at the same time keep everybody safe, and really not knowing what the rest of the season is going to be looking like.
You have to be careful how much salt we put down. You got to use the quantities you have. It does impact us a little bit, but we do have supplies on hand. Really, we do have supplies from our vendors. We still have allocations, but we got to watch those allocations because we're limited to right now.
So I wanted to check the National Weather Service when it comes to, are we experiencing an average winter? So for this point in the winter season, for January 30th, we average around 20 inches of snow. We are already at more than 28 inches of snow. When it comes to the temperature, well, we are trending well below average. So I guess it all becomes very subjective at this point. We're going to have much more on this story come up at 9 o'clock, especially when it comes to that salt shortage. But for now, we're live in the West Loop tonight. Brett Pagansky, Fox Chicago.
All right, Brett, thank you. This is one of those lake-back days where it depends truly where you live. Mark Strell is here with your first forecast. So would you call this an average winter?
You know, one of the reasons why those numbers are a little bit skewed, as Brett pointed out, is that we had that foot of snow that came down across parts of the area in around Thanksgiving. So that kind of boosted the numbers. So we'll find out as we get towards the end of the year. But I got to tell you, it doesn't feel average, especially last weekend when we failed to get above the zero mark. Winter storm warnings are posted again tonight. That's for Chicago until midnight. Those winter storm warnings continue into the morning hours tomorrow for Northwest Indiana. And we've seen visibility drop in some neighborhoods, while at the same time, you can see for miles in other neighborhoods. Right now, the biggest threat for the snowfall coming down is south of Interstate 88, down to about Morris. So between Interstates 88 and 80, southwest of the city, that's where the latest batch of snowfall is at the moment. You can see that with the darker blues heading down to the south and to the southwest. But there's no more snow being manufactured off of the lake, and that snow will continue to slide down the lake into northern and northwest Indiana as we go throughout the evening hours. And that's why I expect to see the heaviest snowfall on the bottom end of the lake. We'll talk about how much snowfall you can expect and what the rest of the timing is for the rest of the weekend coming up.
All right, thank you, sir. Well, thousands are taking part in a nationwide shutdown today to protest immigration enforcement across the country.
Leslie Moreno is at Daley Plaza, where people are gathering right now. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, there are hundreds of people here behind me taking part in that national shutdown day. This here behind me is at Daley Plaza. We'll step to the side here so we can show you. There's people out here with signs, with flags, chanting right now. We have speakers up at the podium right now. This is a protest against ICE and immigration practices, which have been taking part here, not just in Chicago, but across the country, in several cities across the country. This is just one of many demonstrations taking place today. Many businesses also deciding to close to stand in solidarity. People were also encouraged to skip school, to skip work and shopping altogether. Now, there are some shops that simply couldn't afford to close today, so those are instead raising funds or donating proceeds to support immigrant rights and organizations. Now, the purpose of this protest is change. People here, they want an end to federal enforcement practices. This nationwide movement is also to stand in solidarity with Minneapolis following fatal shooting involving federal immigration agents. We've been talking to students and families and people and parents out here who skipped school, who skipped work just to be here today and show support. Take a listen.
It feels right. It feels like this is the need. You know, we've been seeing the news in Minneapolis, and it's been really heartbreaking to see the violence and death. It's very uplifting to see all the action and all the information that's spreading and people doing what they can about it, though.
Back out here live, the crowd continues to grow here by the minute. We do have Chicago police on standby that we've seen around Daley Plaza here, but so far everything has been peaceful. Again, the hope with this movement is to show resistance and convince the Trump administration to stop sending federal agents not just to Chicago but to other cities across the country. For now, reporting live here at Daley Plaza, Les Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
And Leslie, all over the country, schools and businesses are shut down for what they're calling the Ice Out protest. Some are closing completely. Others are staying open and giving all the money they make today to groups that fight for immigration rights. There's this bar in Chicago called Bar Miko. It just got voted the world's best bar. The owner closed it down today to make a statement and says she's still paying everybody who works there.
I'm joining the general strike because I believe that what ICE is being empowered to do, that what the administration is pushing for is wrong. And I believe that all of the people of color who have been terrorized, murdered in front of us for generations, everything that they have gone through is culminating now where we cannot look away and we should not look away. And so if there's anyone who feels that same way, I would urge them not to be afraid to step up, because if we don't, the system will remain.
They will be back open tomorrow.
Well, in Minneapolis, where federal agents have shot and killed 2 protesters this month, a lot of businesses are closed too.
Asher Red is in the city right now. Asher.
Well, Tia and Terrence, a lot of those folks who walked out today were out protesting in front of the federal building here in Minneapolis, where federal agents are working out of. Now, this building has become the center for anti-ICE protests all month. And today, hundreds of protesters gathered in the road to block agents from entering and exiting the property. The feds used flashbangs to push protesters back, and they even made a few arrests. I asked some of these protesters what they think of the Trump administration's potential plan to scale back its immigration crackdown here in the Twin Cities.
I think those are just words. We want to see actions. We want to see ICE out of the state.
And what does that action look like in your head?
I think that action looks like getting 3,000 agents out of the state now.
I think that the opportunity for compromise has passed. What they've done is they've taken over. They've invaded our state.
It'd be nice if they could get out of our state and we could just come to a compromise and they stop terrorizing and threatening our neighborhood and our communities.
And just in your head, what does that compromise look like?
I mean, I don't get paid the big bucks to figure that out. I'm not a politician.
A few dozen people also protested outside a Target store today near the University of Minnesota. They want the retail chain to stop allowing immigration agents to stage their operations at its stores. And at one point, protesters actually got inside the store, but police kicked them out minutes later. Meanwhile, U.S. immigration officials say they're shifting to targeted immigration enforcement with a focus on arresting specific public safety threats instead of doing large-scale raids.
We know for a fact that we had dangerous criminals and drug traffickers, murderers, terrorists, people on the suspected and known terrorist watch list that are in this country that these officers are working so hard to get off of our streets.
And earlier today, the feds arrested former CNN host Don Lemon for his role in live streaming an anti-ICE protest at a church service in St. Paul a couple of weeks ago. Now, federal prosecutors say that Lemon violated these churchgoers' civil rights, but his attorneys are saying that his work is protected by the First Amendment. Back to you.
Asher, thank you. The Senate is close to a deal to fund the government, but even if they pass it today, it still has to go through the House. So a shutdown is happening no matter what. The question is how long. Senators were on the Hill this morning hammering out a last-minute package. Republicans say they want it done with the clocks run out. The big fight is over Homeland Security funding. Republicans want a short-term deal so they can debate border enforcement. Democrats are pushing back hard after that second deadly ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt says this is about the border.
It appears as though there'll be a CR for DHS funding for a couple of weeks. And then we're going to have a debate. We're going to have a debate whether or not we're a country that believes in law and order.
Once the Senate votes, it heads to the House. Speaker Johnson says the earliest they could vote is Monday, so we're still in shutdown mode until then.
Harvey Mayor Christopher Clark has died. He was first elected in 2019. City officials tell Fox Chicago Clark passed away after battling an undisclosed illness. He did not attend a city council meeting on January 12th. That was the first held in 2 months. A city council meeting scheduled for this past Monday was canceled at the very last minute. A special meeting will be held Monday to appoint an acting mayor for the remaining 2 years of Clark's term.
And this one hurt to hear today. Catherine O'Hara has died.
You know her from Schitt's Creek and, of course, Beetlejuice and Home Alone.
Kevin! Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana.
And she was still working. She had a show called The Studio on Apple TV. Her talent agency says she died at home in L.A. after a short illness. O'Hara was born in Canada, started her career in Toronto's Second City Theater. Earlier on Chicago Live, Jake Hamilton took a look back on her career.
She is one of those actors who could play it small. She could play it big. I mean, Home Alone, she is not, I don't want to say she's not funny in Home. She's fantastic in Home Alone, but she is often the person who sets up other people to be funny. I mean, my immediate reaction whenever I think of Home Alone, crazy enough, isn't the scene she has with Macaulay Culkin. It's the scenes that she has with John Candy when she's trying to get back home to Chicago. And because she was raised in that SCTV, that Second City environment, it's, you know, that's the kind of world where you're taught about not necessarily just being funny yourself, but it's always that yes and, right? It's always how you can pump up other people to be funny.
Macaulay Culkin posted something on Instagram about her. Of course, he played her son in Home Alone. He wrote, "Mama, I thought we had time. I wanted more." Then he said, "I love you and we'll see you later." O'Hara is survived by her husband of 33 years and their 2 sons. She was 71.
And very, very talented, for sure. Well, millions of new Epstein documents are released by the Department of Justice.
There are shocking and disturbing claims, including many about President Trump.
And 2 different cars with the same license plate. The mystery is finally solved.
Come on back.
Fox 32 News is
The Department of Justice has released what it says are 3 million pages of Epstein documents. And as expected, some big names face big allegations.
Among those names, President Donald Trump, former President Bill Clinton, and some Chicago connections as well. Paris Schutz breaks it all down for us. Paris?
Yeah, Tia and Terrence, 3 million documents. It's going to take forever to go through all these. Now, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, some of the most influential names in the country are part of this dump that features emails and allegations, and the most salacious allegations come from anonymous complaints. Now, President Trump is accused of holding parties at some of his properties where women were allegedly trafficked. He is accused in these documents of rape and sexual assault, including by a then 13-year-old. And many of those tips, however, are anonymous, and the FBI claims they were not able to follow up on many of them. Sometimes there was a bad phone number. Sometimes no one answered when they tried to track the tipster down. The one Chicago connection here, former Cub Sammy Sosa. He is listed as having attended a party with Trump and Epstein, although he is not personally accused of wrongdoing. All of it amounts to evidence of a potential massive criminal conspiracy involving the biggest names in politics, finance, and entertainment. Assistant U.S. Attorney Todd Blanche says the White House played no role in what was and wasn't released today.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. I mean, I think that there's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. And there's nothing I can do about that.
Lawmakers are reacting this afternoon as everyone pieces through all these documents. Democratic Illinois Congressman Mike Quigley posted on X, quote, "The Epstein files released today included disturbing allegations of abusive and criminal actions taken by President Trump. These accounts are horrifying, and I demand full transparency and accountability. The victims deserve justice, and the American people deserve answers." Terrence, there's a lot of redactions in some of these documents. Obviously, the names of the victims and the accusers are protected, but some of the alleged conspirators here, their names are also redacted in some of these documents, and it's hard to know whether the FBI followed up on some of these tips, whether there are videos or other pieces of evidence, but it's the kind of situation where normally you'd see a special counsel or a special master be in charge, someone independent of the FBI, independent of government, trying to look into all these, because the allegations are startling, absolutely startling, and the names in here are some of the most powerful people on the planet.
They're expecting any more releases?
Yeah, well, there's now they say the Department of Justice there's 6 million files in total, and this was just 3 million here. Wow. Okay. So much to go through, and it just gets, I think the questions just grow more the more these are released, that lots of questions, but allegations of just monstrous behavior in here.
Yeah, Paris, thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it.
President Trump picked Kevin Warsh to run the Federal Reserve. He works at Stanford now teaching economics. He ran part of the Fed before, from 2006 to 2011, youngest person to ever do that job. Trump also picked him for this same job back in 2017. People say he used to worry a lot about inflation. Lately, he wanted lower rates, and he criticized how the Fed runs things.
I think what we need is regime change at the Fed, and that's not just about the chairman. It's about a whole range of people. It's about changing their mindset and their models.
The Senate still has to approve him. If they do, he takes over for Jerome Powell in May. All right, let's get another check of the forecast. Mark, safe to say lake effect is playing favorites?
Yes, maybe. It is. Yeah, you know what? A lot of neighborhoods not seeing anything. Other neighborhoods are getting a little pop of some moderate snowfall this hour. And you can see where the darker blues are, south of Aurora, heading down through the Fox Valley, down Illinois State Route 47, down towards Morris. That's where the heaviest snowfall is this hour. We'll continue to see that snow being produced off the lake and then spinning down the lake as we go through the rest of the evening. And some of that snowfall could stack up 4, 5, even 6 inches on the bottom end of the lake over the next 12 to 18 hours. We have temperatures now in the teens, at least we're in the upper teens. That's warmer than we have been in days. Wind chills right now, 0 at Rockford. That was down to 2 degrees below 0, and that's one of the cooler wind chills. Elsewhere, those numbers are at least above 0 in the positive territory. Looking out over the lake right now, we've seen some sunshine earlier this afternoon and just a few fleeting glimpses. Meanwhile, the machine producing the snow, the lake effect snow machine continues to hurl these little pockets down towards the bottom end of the lake, and that's what we're dealing with tonight. That's why there's a winter storm warning up for Chicago until midnight. I'll tell you more about what we can expect after this is all over, and have a 7-day forecast that's a little kinder and gentler coming.
Start your week.
Welcome back. Federal prosecutors cannot seek the death penalty against Luigi Mangione in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
The judge made that ruling today after she dismissed a federal murder charge against Mangione, finding it was technically flawed. Stalking charges and state murder charges were left in place, which carry a maximum penalty of life in prison. His trial is expected to begin in October.
A teacher in Florida has a new lease on life after another teacher she never met gave her a life-saving gift. Myra was diagnosed with an immune disorder that caused her to go into kidney failure back in 2018. After 4 years of waiting for a kidney match, she took matters into her own hands and put it out on Facebook asking for a donor. Jenna, another teacher in Florida, saw the post and without any hesitation stepped in to help. Within a matter of weeks, doctors confirmed Jenna was a match, and 2 days before Christmas, Jenna gave Myra the gift of a second chance at life.
One of our sons passed away, so I know what it is like to experience that loss. And if I could keep a family from losing someone and going through that pain, I was going to do whatever I could to do that.
It was the best Christmas present. I'm so thankful that she heard God's voice and she decided to act on it and not kind of sit and idle.
The teachers say they are no longer strangers, but kidney sisters.
Love that. Artificial intelligence is now being used to help people find missing pets, and that technology just helped a man in Phoenix reunite with his. His service dog, Laney, went missing, so he also used the search party function on his Ring camera, security camera. The feature uses AI to scan for similar dogs and Ring cameras in the area of the missing dog. Then Ring users will get a notification asking if they want to share the alert with the owner. Founder of Ring says you can turn off that search party function if you want, but there are privacy safeguards in place. Laney's owner says he understands privacy concerns, but he believes any pet owner will be grateful this tool exists.
Feeling the terror of
of losing her, wanting any additional help, that concern went right out the window.
You don't want to take part. I mean, I don't think you're a good person, but you can just say no and no one will ever know.
Well, Ring is working on a way to include cats, although they might be a little harder to find. And when it comes to the potential for missing persons cases, Ring says that will require a much deeper conversation about privacy and identification issues.
A Kentucky family is going viral for their adorable house guest. This calf was born Saturday during that massive ice and snowstorm. Wait, where is it?
It's on the left.
What? The family, knowing it would be in trouble out in the frigid weather, brought it inside for the night. Oh my goodness, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
It dozed off of the couch with the family's 2 young kids. The calf has been named Sally.
Oh, Sally.
And has been reunited with her mother. Both are doing just fine. That's a big old cat.
What did you think that was at first, a blanket?
A wolf.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, meet Edna Wooden. She lives in Philly, and she just celebrated her 106th birthday. The phrase "you are only as old as you feel" is spot on, because nothing about Edna screams 106.
How old do you feel?
Well, I don't feel 106, but I know I'm older. I go to the senior centers on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I go to church on Sunday. I come down here and play cards.
Listen, Edna got her week planned. To hear some of the activities she's leaving out, you just have to ask her kids.
We know we blessed. Still have our mother in a right state of mind. No walker, no wheelchair, no cane. Live by herself. Still cooks. Still a curse you out.
She stole mine because she will lay you out if you don't do the right thing. I said something smart to her not too long ago. She said, "I will walk over to your house." She said, "I live in Springfield. She lives in Cheltenham." She said, "I will walk to your house and I will jack you up."
It's crazy. She doesn't look 106. She doesn't act 106, you know, and hey, I'm blessed every day she's here.
Miss Edna, like she do not play with you. Edna was born and raised in North Philadelphia. She worked at a factory building parts for NASA, and she loves traveling. In fact, to this day, she takes trips. Last year, she went to the Dominican Republic for her birthday. I know that's right. And it says traveling along with God is the reason she is still going strong at the young age of 106.
And maybe letting people know how you feel, because that seems like she's about
that. I told you before, you got to let it out.
You just got to let it out.
Don't hold it in.
Sick of this. No, I'm kidding.
Coming up, we have an update to a story that's been all over social media. A home in Plainfield with a flashing light.
This is crazy. People have been calling 911 over and over again. Now we're hearing from the owner. And also a massive indoor golf complex could be coming to the suburbs.
You two just know how to make people laugh. I'm Tina Wynn. Later in sports, it's cold in Chicago, but things are heating up in the NFL with coaching and front office changes. The details on where Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham and offensive coordinator Declan Doyle are headed, and why the Bears now have not 1, not 2, but 3 positions they'll need to fill. I'll tell you about it later in sports.
This President's Day, you can wait for a
Now at the bottom of the hour, we have an update on a license plate mystery.
Lake effect snow still falling across parts of Chicago and Indiana, and it may not stop until tomorrow.
But first, 2 people killed when a home explodes in Oswego. The victims identified as a 64-year-old man and a 62-year-old woman.
Yeah, several agencies are trying to figure out how this happened.
The explosion happened at around 6 last night on Fox Chase Drive, and you can see all the damage done there. Firefighters found the victims overnight after searching through that debris. Officials say a natural gas line continued to burn after most of the fire was already put out. So NICOR had to shut the gas off completely. They say additional information will be released as it becomes available.
New details tonight about the murder of a pregnant woman in Downers Grove. The DuPage County Sheriff's Office says the suspect, Anitas Varoukas, is in critical condition after injuring himself in jail. He is accused of stabbing Eliza Morales and setting her on fire. She was 30 years old, 5 months pregnant. It stemmed from a sale on Facebook Marketplace, police say. He faces first-degree murder charges along with other felonies. Prosecutors are seeking life in prison. His arraignment is set for February 18th. All schools in Oak Lawn School District 123 were closed today because of a, quote, serious threat. The district says it got a message directed at Colmar Elementary School. Oak Lawn police identified a person of interest and quickly learned that person was the victim of a swatting type incident, with their identity used to issue the threat, which is so far considered unfounded.
Tonight on Fox Chicago, a mystery is finally solved.
Yeah, 2 different cars with the same license plate. It turns out the plates are different too.
Yes, this all started when Susan Bonini got a red light ticket in the mail. The license plate seemed to match, but the car that went through that red light is a black Chevy SUV. Bonini drives a green Subaru, and she hasn't been to Chicago in many years. We got the Illinois Secretary of State office on the case. They tell Fox Chicago the license plate was misread, and, quote, after running different variations of the plate, we identified a vehicle matching the make and model listed on the ticket that has the same plate digits. But here's the difference. It turns out the first character is the letter Z instead of a number 2. We've also learned that red light citations are generated by using automated plate reading technology, and also that a human verifies that ticket before it's ever issued.
I've never been to Irving Park Road in Chicago. And it's frustrating to me that it's going to cost me money for this mistake that somebody else is doing. But then out of caution, I did get new plates.
And you won't have to pay that ticket because the Secretary of State will now issue a letter to CPD alerting them of the issue.
One of the biggest cheese companies in the world is expanding in Illinois. Lancia Cheese is making their factory in Lena bigger. The company says they're adding 50 full-time jobs. They already have 125 people working there. Governor Pritzker says this is good for the state's economy.
It's exciting for the state of Illinois. It's exciting for Stevenson County, for Lena, for the people who live in this area. This is about expansion and building a great economy. It's also about great cheese.
All right, the state helped make this happen through something called the EDGE program.
Well, you don't have to freeze to golf. Golfing year-round in the suburbs is coming. A company called Megalodome Golf wants to bring a desert-style golf experience to Oswego. It just launched a $50 million investment fund to build the climate-controlled golf complex. That's a lot of money. There would be 4 massive domes covering a 9-hole course, along with a driving range designed to recreate the look and feel of Scottsdale, Arizona. That's absolutely beautiful. The project is still in the financing phase with a target of opening come next
What kind of dome?
Megalodome.
Like how you said that.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, I did. All right, this house in Plainfield has been blowing up online. People saw videos of lights flashing and thought someone was sending out SOS signals.
I thought the same thing. People were actually so worried the cops got called several times.
Yeah, every time deputies from the Will County Sheriff's Office went to check it out, they said everything was locked or boarded up. No signs of anyone living there. Turns out the SOS lights are just solar lights that are either broken or low on power. That's why they're flashing. Owner's daughter posted videos on TikTok showing the home is abandoned and showing them replacing the lights. We talked to the owner and his daughter on Chicago Live. They told us they're using this viral moment to help people. They're working with Habitat for Humanity in Will County. Anyone who donates gets entered into a raffle to win the infamous SOS lights.
I'm just hoping, I mean, if one person, you know, every person who saw it is $1. I mean, if we're hitting 1 million views, I mean, you know, that would be incredible to help a lot of people. So that was kind of my whole thing about there's so much of a buzz. And then when you guys called, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. If I got my 15 minutes of fame, I might as well use it for good, basically,
The tickets are through February 6th, and they'll announce the winner on the 7th.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, I like how they switched it all around.
Yeah, it's a good side of social media.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much bad.
Let me tell you, so there were people in the comments of the video, though, explaining, because they have the same lights, that they were having the same issue, and people were like arguing them down like, you don't know nothing. Get off social media. So sometimes people in the comments are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they're right, and a lot of people are right about this.
And a lot of people are just in comments looking for an argument, too.
Yeah.
And people fall for the bait all the time.
Don't fall on the ice, though. Right, Mark?
What I find funny is how you're like, you don't know nothing.
Oh, okay.
I just want to have that like on my ringtone, Like,
you don't know nothing.
I just want to be able to drop that like in an argument. Just
we can make it happen.
Like, hang on a second. Oh, I got to.
And it'll be me.
You don't know nothing.
Did you like
in the megalodon.
But did you like the transition about the ice? You totally missed it. It needed some work. Okay.
Okay. Well, here's what's going on. Here's what is clear is there's some snowfall coming down, and you can see it kind of lining up. We've got lake effect snow up the lake, in the middle of the lake, and down a little closer to us. It's going to continue to slide directly from the north to the south. Now, so far, this has kind of affected north and northwestern areas of the city, and it's going to continue to slide. This lake effect snow belt is going to continue, or at least plume is going to continue to slide more to the south, directly into northwest Indiana. We'll talk more about that coming up.
Could immersive technology be the next frontier in cancer prevention? We'll explain coming up.
What's your
Doctors at Rush are putting immersive technology to the test when it comes to routine care.
And they say it could set the standard as AI continues to evolve. Casey Cronus has the story.
A clinical trial here in the GI department is pairing Apple's Vision Pro goggles with colonoscopies with the goal to help doctors spot cancer more accurately.
very interesting. What I can do with this, as I said, I can size it, I can move it from side to side.
At Rush University Medical Center, Dr. Irving Waxman is showing us how Apple Vision Pro goggles are on track to improve how doctors see and spot colon cancer. In partnership with Cosmo MedTech AI, based in Italy, the hospital launched a clinical study earlier this month, exploring whether the technology could aid doctors as they perform colonoscopies and endoscopies. Instead of a doctor turning away from the patient, the goggles will project what's on nearby screens right before their eyes.
I'm actually bringing that picture in a very high definition level almost into my physical space.
The system is powered by GI Genius, and Dr. Waxman says AI is on its way to becoming a crucial tool in cancer detection. The green squares that are popping up, those are identifying polyps, and Waxman says they're serving as an extra set of eyes.
What it really is, it's an AI algorithm that has over 30 million pictures of different polyps. In addition of me recognizing lesions, the AI may see something that I may have missed, and that's the green box that you're seeing.
In the U.S., colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in men and the fourth in women. Waxman says if approved, it's only the beginning for technology like this.
15 patients took part in the initial clinical trial. Next, the findings will be shared with the FDA for review before additional trials take place. Reporting at Rush, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
I'm Tina Wynn. Next in sports, Ben Johnson said last week, when you have success and win games, teams are going to come calling. Why Ben Johnson's coaching staff is taking another hit with the loss of offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. I'll tell you where he's headed next in sports.
This
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have good news, Markstrom. We'll warm up something.
There's always some good news somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Optimism. Right?
Yeah, let's be optimistic because, you know, here's the good news. We are going back into the 20s and 30-degree reading. by the end of the 7-day forecast. And even actually just within the next couple of days, we're going to get back out of the 20s. Now, the bad news is we are under a winter storm warning. That is until midnight tonight. That is for some lake effect snow. Also a winter storm warning in effect northwest Indiana through the early morning hours tomorrow as well. Here's where the snow is right now. This is lake effect snow. The heaviest batch sliding down through Morris, down along and south of Interstate 80 right now. But we do have additional pockets of lake effect snow that's coming in primarily just up towards Evanston, and then we're starting to see a little more activity down to the south end of the lake from Gary back down to around Maryville, seeing some snowfall here off and on here over the last couple of hours. Visibility has improved across much of the area. Still half-mile visibility along Interstate 80 at Morris. Right now we do have cloudy skies, temperatures in the teens, winds out of the northeast, giving us wind chill reading of 3 degrees above zero. We have some lake effect snow that'll continue tonight through the early part of the day tomorrow. I expect to see this start to wind down and kind of run out of steam as we go towards a later afternoon tomorrow. Wind chills all above zero. Couple of zeros in the north and northwest suburbs this hour. We make it up to 25 tomorrow, 27 degrees, some sunshine on Sunday. We hit 30 degrees on Monday with another little pocket of snowfall perhaps, especially out to the far west. This is a look at Futurecast. Lake effect snow coming down the lake. Again, focusing mostly on the south end of the lake, but we've seen it move across Chicago as well. I expect to see 4, 5, even 6 inches of snowfall in northwest Indiana, specifically from Gary through Porter and Lake County, Indiana, as we go through the overnight hours and into the early morning hours. Other than that, temperatures starting to moderate a little bit as we go through the 7-day forecast. So that is a bit of an improvement. Here is your forecast then for tonight. We're down to 9 degrees, winds out of the north-northwest at around 10 to 15, so that will put wind chills at or below zero for parts of the overnight hours. Winter storm warning is in effect tonight until midnight for Chicago, and again continuing through the early morning hours tomorrow for northwest Indiana. 25 degrees high temperature tomorrow. Snow showers, lake effect snow coming down. Again, the heaviest on the south end of the lake. Your 7-day forecast. At least we're getting out of the single digits and the teens, and you can see that even the overnight low temperatures are going to be well above zero here through the 7-day forecast. As we head towards Sunday, some sunshine, temperatures of 27 degrees, we'll call it partly sunny skies, 30 on Monday, and temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s to round out the 7-day forecast. Stick around, we're coming right back.
It's rare in year one that you feel like you have a 5-star staff, and yet that's what I believe. I see future head coaches on this staff. I see future coordinators. I see these young coaches being future position coaches. I see that all across the board. I know we already have some slips coming through that other teams would like to interview some of our guys, and I'm all for it, man. I want these guys to continue to ascend.
All right, after playing well above expectations in 2025, Ben Johnson and the Bears were expecting teams to come calling for the coaches, and that has reportedly happened. Breaking news in the last couple of hours. According to ESPN, the Ravens are hiring offensive coordinator Declan Doyle to become their new OC. The 29-year-old was a key figure under Ben Johnson in his first year as head coach, but he did not call plays. Now in Baltimore, he will have play calling duties under new Ravens head coach Jesse Minter. The news comes a week after running backs coach Eric Bieniemy left the Bears to become the Chiefs offensive coordinator, and just days after Doyle withdrew his name for consideration for the Eagles OC job. Ben Johnson hired him last January, and the Bears offense saw a revival this season, finishing top 10 in the league in multiple categories, including scoring, total yards, rushing, and passing yards. As if that wasn't enough, the Falcons have hired Bears assistant GM Ian Cunningham to be their new general manager. He'll look to get the Falcons back to the playoffs for the first time since 2017. The Bears will not receive compensatory draft picks as they normally would under the Rooney Rule. That's because Falcons team president Matt Ryan and not Cunningham is considered the primary football executive. Cunningham leaves the Bears after 4 seasons, capped off by an NFC North title. Before that, he spent 5 seasons in with the Eagles front office, during which they won a Super Bowl and 2 NFC East titles. Cunningham began his front office career with the Ravens, who won a Super Bowl during his time there as well. All right, plenty more of the Bears conversations with CHSN's Clay Harbor coming up on Chicago Sports tonight. More on Ian Cunningham to the Falcons and why quarterback Caleb Williams is poised for an even better year 3. Plus, you'll meet 2 Chicagoland natives who have gone viral for turning every single thing in their everyday life into a bet. Even our own show that's coming up at 6 p.m. on the Fox Local app and at 9:30 right here on Fox Chicago. All right, college basketball. Illinois has won 10 straight after beating Washington 75-66 last night. They've won 4 straight Big Ten road games during that streak, including at number 4 Purdue. This Sunday on FS1, the Illini have a showdown with number 5 Nebraska, the last team to beat them before this win streak started about a month and a half ago.
The Nebraska loss started it all. We changed our mentality after that. Coach was... I mean, we deserved that he got to be mad at us after that loss, and we just changed our mentality.
I think that was an eye-opening moment. I didn't think we were very focused on what it took to win. We had some time off after that game that we had to readjust the way we did some things, and in our approach and effort and scouting report, and recommit really to what we call our daily vitamins, because we had sure slipped.
All right, and some NHL news. Former Blackhawks Patrick Kane made more history last night, recording his 1,375th career point on a secondary assist against the Capitals. You see there, Kane passes Mike Modano for most points by a U.S.-born player in NHL history. Just 2 days after tying the mark, Modano has held the record since '07. Another front office change in the NFC North, and this was a bit of a surprise. The Vikings have fired GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah after missing the playoffs this season. We're back with more after this final break.
Fox 30.
The UK's biggest airport has released its travelers from the tyranny of tiny toiletries.
London's Heathrow International Airport is scrapping the 100-millimeter or 3.4-ounce liquid carry-on limit. It's all because the airport got a $1.3 billion tech upgrade that includes new 3D image security scanners that no longer require people to remove liquids or electronics from their carry-ons. I'm a little skeptical. Each container can now hold up to 2 liters of liquid. However, the rule change applies only to flights leaving Heathrow. So there you go.
Well, why can't we do that here?
We don't have the technology yet.
Well, can we get it?
Well, probably going to cost us all some money.
In the meantime, just take little shampoos.
Yeah.
From the hotel.
Yeah.
But they get rid of those too. Hotels here got rid of those.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Pumps.
My world just doesn't make sense anymore. No. All right, well, tonight we've got some snow showers around. We've got lake effect snow. We do have a winter storm warning until midnight tonight, and for northwest Indiana through the morning tomorrow. We could see 4, 5, 6 inches of snow in northwest Indiana.
Whoa.
Wow, that is a lot.
All right, well, thank you for joining us at 5.
And now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here. Well, they will. This cast will.
See
For
you
the
at
news
9.
at 9.
Yeah.